Bula everyone, thank you very much for joining in. As you are aware, we would be launching our corporate income tax and personal income tax returns for the tax years 2015 to 2021, uh, anticipating in the middle of August to the end of August. And this is for the years 2015 to 2021, which means you will be able to, if you have lodged your returns in our legacy system, you'll be able to view, amend, and also object to the returns for 2015 to 2021. I'm sure everyone must be aware of the objection rule, which is the 2-year rule, which starts from the actual date of lodgement. So if you want to object or amend, you will need to do that manually. We'll also be assisting our taxpayers while they come to our office with the actual forms. We will first try and help them by taking them to our portal, and if they are not able to still file, we will take the manual returns. And for company income tax, which is CIT, which is now known as corporate income tax, it will not only have the company return lines, it also consolidate the partnership, estate, and trust. As we all aware, the return lines for all these 4 different types of taxpayers is different. We won't be changing any of the return lines. It is as is, which is as you might have lodged the forms. The returns still remain the same. The only difference is that you'll be lodging it online, and all the relevant documents or attachments to substantiate your claim need to be uploaded. And while Willie logs in, he will be able to also show you how the nil returns are done for CIT and PIT. This is slightly different from all other tax types. For example, if you are going to file the nil returns in FBT VAT, you're just going to answer the question yes and no if you are filing a nil return and select the reason, and it takes you to the declaration page. However, for CIT and PIT, including partnership, trust and estates, you are going to be asked to input your net profit figure, and then you have to upload your financial statements and do your declaration. It is that simple. We understand that CIT and PIT are bigger processes. That is why we are doing lots of awareness on this. And we'll also be releasing our forms. We're targeting to release our forms end of this week or early next week. Moreover, you'll be able to extract your statements, statement of income tax for these tax types after we go live. It will not only have the transactions from 2015 till 2021, it will have the legacy. That means the whole history would be available for you. You'll also be able to see a summary, just like you see a summary of tax payables for other tax types which you are trying to file on TPOS, meaning you'll be able to see the payables or the refunds. You'll also be able, the system will also populate your advanced taxes that you have paid through your receipts. For the refunds that has, for the credits that has not been refunded, that is not classed in the advanced taxes in 2025 to 2021, but we will accept your emails, and we can recalculate your advances. Of course, you'll be able to see your contractual payments, your interest withholding that has been deducted. You'll be also giving the system will also throw out your filing confirmation, so you can actually track your returns with FRCS. These are self-assessed returns. Compared to the as-is basis, you are lodging, and there is 4-5 processes that we do internally, and we're also doing some. We are also actually we are also not allowing some deductions or some inputs, but in TPOS, these are all self-assessed returns. Whatever you file is going to be the final output. And there are also some other pre-population happening, and Willie would also be letting you know about all those things. So basically for CIT, there are 7 sections. The first section is the instructions bit, which is standard throughout all our TPOS processes. So we request all of you to please read, and you need to tick the checkbox in order for you to proceed with the filing. The second part of the form is the income tax return, whereby you will be filling all the figures. And the second filling of the figures, so I'll just go a little bit of details. The second part of the form, you'll be inputting your net profit from your profit and loss. That is the first part. This is mandatory. And then you'll go to the deductions, which are not allowed. So the attachments in this is optional. While Willimone is going to take you through the process, you'll be able to visualize it more better. And then you'll have your deductions and concessions. These are mandatory fields whereby if you input, you need to attach the evidence. We encourage you to attach the evidence of all the fields that you are claiming, so that if you have any issues or any queries or any amendments to make, you can always make reference to it. Of course, there is a computation of tax liability at the end. And then we have the third section, which is known as other information. This is whereby it captures the income statement of the taxpayer, which covers the cost of goods sold, your gross trading, and we also have the ICT incentive information. It will have the number of employees that is current and previous. And the fourth section is the general schedules. This is whereby you'll be inputting your details of directors' management fees, your overseas income, your contractual payments, your management fees, your director's fees. So you'll be inputting the TINs. For overseas ones, you'll be just putting the name. You'll be just entering the name, and the gross income and the tax deducted will be thrown from the system itself. Yeah, you have a section on the joint venture, the trust and the partnership. We encourage you to lodge your partnership return first, and then you do your partner's return lodgement. And the fifth part of the section is the uploading documents. This is a mandatory section. You got to upload your financial statements in this section. And then you come to the summary page. This is where I was just reiterating that before you lodge your return, you'll be able to see what is your tax liability to be paid. At the moment, you have to do all the manual calculations. You have to see how much was tax deducted, how much is paid, and all that. So now this is more comfortable. This is more comfortable now. You will be able to see your tax liability that you need to pay or the refund FRCS needs to do. You'll be seeing how much was deducted in the form of provisional tax, if there was any, your withholding tax, your foreign tax, and of course, advanced tax would be populated there. If we are lodging late lodgement penalties would be applied. This is just like any other return that you can see on Enters, on TPOS. Enters is the name of the project, but we always have a withdrawal functionality available. I'm sure you all are aware that we have our user guides on how we go around applying for withdrawal of penalties based on individual tax types and years. And then the last section is the declaration section. You have to input the TIN of the person who's preparing it and also his or her designation. And then you tick the checkbox and the submit button becomes available for you to actually submit the returns. And of course, we have small boxes, icons whereby you can add notes and also make any declaration that you wish to. That was the face of the form which I covered. Some important reminders: the attachments formats need to be in less than 5 MB, and it should be in PDF, JPEG, PNG format. Like I said, there are some mandatory attachments like add backs and optional deductions. We will be giving you the forms with the links. We would be advising all our taxpayers. We would be advising all of you through our e-channels. Please follow us on TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Like I said, the forms are self-assessed, and if you have a tax agent, you need to do an engagement process. I'm sure you all must have logged in and seen your profile. On the landing page, you need to initiate an engagement process. You'll be able to see your tax agent's name, and you need to assign corporate income tax and personal income tax, and then they will get a notification. And once your tax agent has approved your request and accepted, then he or she will be able to file the return on your behalf. So this is all from me till now. I hope Willie has logged in. Charlie, Willie has logged in.
First of all, a very good afternoon to all of you. My apologies for the technical issues that we face. Nevertheless, I will just take us through the presentation, and then after that we'll do a demo, and then we'll have the question and answers. But it does not stop you from putting in your questions in the chat platform, Q&As, and then our officers are there. Amrita is there. Also, Taka is there. They can respond while the presentation is going on. So today the objective is to have an overview of the corporate income tax for tax years 2015 to 2021. Also the major changes. As you know, we are moving from the manual to the online system, and I will just dwell on the major changes, and after that there'll be a demo where I will show you the company online form, and also we'll look at each of the partnership, the trust, and the trust form. Overview. As you know, taxes are divided into direct and indirect taxes, the two major classifications. So income tax is a direct tax levied on the chargeable income of a person. So it's imposed on non-individuals. For this, please bear in mind of the change in the name before we have it Form C. That's a name that has been used. As you know, the Income Tax Act started way back in 1920, and the Act came into force in 1974. And there was a revision done to the new law before the latest revision, I think in the 1980s, and then after that, the latest revision in the Income Tax Act 2015, where we have simplified and the new Income Tax Act 2015. So if you see the name, you know, the corporate income tax, and companies, estates, trusts, these are some of the non-individual taxpayers that will be filling in this online form. It's computed after reducing various deductions. I know if you have been doing this, you have the gross income, which is specified in section 14, and then after that you have your add-backs, the ones that's included in your profit and loss statement, income statement, and it's not allowable for tax purposes. And then after that, then you will deduct the various deductions that's allowed to the taxpayer. They call it claim, some they call it, or the income tax claims from his or her gross income. CIT return is filed annually. So if you see, you've got the different tax types. You have the VAT, you have the telecommunication levy, you have the PUI, you have the different types of taxes. Those are some examples, and they are have different. Some of them are filed quarterly, like for example, the VAT monthly and annually. For this one, it's usually filed once a year, yearly obligations. They must file the income tax return for the year within 3 months after the end of the tax year. So tax year means the calendar year and includes a substituted tax year and a transitional tax year. Okay, substituted tax year calendar year is, you know, January to December. So the return is normally due at the end of by the end of March, and the substituted tax year is any tax year year end other than December. So it can be January, can be February, March, April, May, June. So when a company adopts a period of 12 months other than the calendar year, it is referred to as the substitute tax year. Company's tax year changes, the period between the last full tax year prior to the change and the date which the new tax year commences is referred to as the transitional period. So the transitional period is less than 6 years, so it's treated as part of the first substitute tax year. If it's more than 6 months, it is treated as a separate tax year, altogether. So important message here is automatic calculation of tax liability by the system. See, the difference here is before, when your return comes in, for example, a company return, you must be the one of the accountants for the companies. You bring it in. It's a current process. You bring it into the counter. It gets stamped, and then the data entry officers they enter it, and then after that it comes, it's assessed, and then it's checked. And after it's processed, the liability appears on the system. And for this one, once you lodge it in, it comes in the system, you can have a filing confirmation. So the automation of the calculation of a tax liability. So it's all inbuilt in the system. Credit assessments resulting in the refundable amount to the taxpayer. Correspondence will be sent to the taxpayers as communication. If you have been using the taxpayer online service, you will be familiar with this. Correspondence there. It's very important. I will also discuss a little bit on this one when we go over to the first. I think it's the landing page of the taxpayer online service. So CIT return means the existing return which has been incorporated into TPOS. As you know, for the CIT, it's for the tax years 2015 to 2021. So the same fields have been incorporated in TPOS, which are currently existing in FIT. So that means if you are quite familiar with the Form C, the current Form C, it replicates and that return in terms of the layout, in terms of what comes first, and then after that you have the other information and the schedule at the back, and then you have the declaration there. Taxpayer amending a return in TPOS would see the pre-file form. So when we go live next month, then you will see if you want to amend the return, you can go to the bottom right hand corner. There's the amend button there, so you can amend the return. But there are certain rules, as you know, according to Section 12 of the Tax Administration Act, that it is to be done 2 years after the assessment, within those 2 years for the self-assessment return. There are different fields on the return for different years. As you know, it's from 2015 to 2021. Okay, let me put it like this. As I already discussed, according to the law, it's already like your return, for example, your year end is your company X Limited, your year end is December 2015, you're supposed to have lodged it by March 2016. If you come under tax agent, then you might have a tax agent lodgement program that's also available. It's a system that is also under the Tax Administration Act 2009. So you also work on the extended due date. The issue is this: by now, all the companies, if you follow the years through, all these returns. Like if I'm a company who's got a 31st December 2021, the return should already be lodged in the manual form, and it's supposed to be, it will be migrated by the system. And when you go in and you want to, for example, amend, look at it, it will already be there. So different, but the important thing here is that over the years, as you have the budget announcement changes in the you add or the allowable deductions lines. For example, in the last 2 years, you've got the COVID-19 there. That's added into the 2021 a tax return that's continuing in the year 2022. That's an example. Some of the lines that have been there all throughout, for example, is depreciation, legal fees for adbacks, and depreciation allowed. So those are the ones that's already there all throughout. Each field will appear based on the year of filing, as I already discussed. So as already discussed by Charisma earlier, when we were trying to looking into the technical issue, companies, partnership, trust, and estates So that's already been made very clear by Charisma. Mandatory adjustments on the return for every allowable concessions or deduction if it is claimed. If you claim there, this was also touched by Charisma when she was explaining. If you fill in a line, you claim, you must attach. So what is behind this? What I'm saying, the advice that I'm giving you now is, if you are going to claim, you have to save as PDF, JPG, PNG, JPEG, and in any of those formats, and keep it there. When you we have the form ready, you will have the form will guide you, because the form will exactly match the lines in the returns, and then after that you go in and then you just plug in the figures, attach you will have a file there, and then you will attach the attachments, the evidence. General schedules, if you go to the general schedules, I think that was the fifth section, you'll have attachments there. So for just like the same rule, if you do not attach, it will not allow you to go to the next section, except for director's fees paid and share of joint venture trust estate income received. And also financial statements. This is a must. You must attach financial statements. And we will, you might be asking me the question, what does financial statement make up? So that will be spelled out in the guidelines, and also the manual will be there, that we will have it ready by 11th of August, that is next month. Schedule-based format to capture details, so made and income received. Those are schedule-based format. I will show it to you during the demo. Manual inputs, so I will also show this one to you during the demo. And automatic calculation of tax liability. So this is like I already discussed on this also. Correspondence such as return filing confirmation. So important tile, when you launch the return online and you press submit, say you go to your correspondence tile and the correspondence will be there, filing confirmation. So it will be there in your tile that you are doing it on behalf of your company, like you are the authorized user to access the portal from your company. The major changes, currently this manual filing. As you know, we already put in the public notice dated 20th of July, and also on 12th of July and 20th of July. Manual filing till tomorrow, and then if you have the return, you have to wait until the online system goes on. So we'll have the forms available to you, as already mentioned by Charisma. We'll have the forms available early so that you'll be able to do the online filing. See, for this one, the online filing to be processed, it replicates what's on the form, it will guide you. And we have our backup too, which I will talk about, our support systems, which I will talk about later. Internal processing, as I told you, currently, when you bring a return, it comes over, it gets stamped, data entry offices, it's all put in a batch, data entry offices, and after that, batch and then taken up for validation. That means the assessors, they do the checkings, and then after that, it's checked and processed. And if there's a refund, there's a separate process for that. Check that one and ensure that the bank details are correct, and then off it goes to the nominated bank account. It's assessed by FRCS, that's a notice of assessment. You can see here, as the world goes on, as you see here, you can see on the left, there's a different taxation system. It's the official assessment system. And you can see on the right, which we are moving into, is the self-assessment system. Official assessment system, you launch the return, the authority-based assessments. They can do plus or minus, they can do the adjustments, and then they'll send you the notice. I have to pay this much, or you were expecting a refund, and then they add back some of the things that were added back that were not added back initially. So that is the current official assessment system, or other words, authority-based system. That is where in the whole world it was, the taxation arena, most of it in the last decade, the previous 3 decades, they were doing that. Most of the countries, they moved on now to the self-assessment system, which Fiji is transitioning into in this process. Concessions, evidence attached to the return form. So, like, if you have the concession there, you, for example, they apply for concession, they get approval, and they got the final approval, they got, for example, and then you can attach it on the letter, and then our assessors will say, okay, we allow this one because policy section FRCS already give the approval, for example. On the other side, on the right hand side, the online filing, as you know, it's only towards there. But actually, there's a behavioral change that needs to happen. This is very, very important. I know FRCS understands the importance of this in terms of informing the taxpayers on and helping, assisting the taxpayers on the online filing. Filing confirmation for tracking is there. It will be in your correspondence type. Advanced tax, if you already paid in the current system, it will be all the payments from the ledgers, it will be pre-populated. So if you ask me, what do I do with this? It's already going to be pre-populated. What I'm telling you is that please cross-check and ensure that for advanced tax that the payments are correctly received, everything is correct. So when it goes over to the online, it eases you for the returns to go on, and also it will help you in terms of the efficiency of you completing the online form and doing the right thing. A self-assessment, this is self-assessment is very, very important because we are transitioning some of the taxes, we already gone there, the tax types that are already gone on in December 2019, the VAT, already we are moving to self-assessment. Self-assessment is about trust. Tax office or FRCS is trusting that the taxpayers do the correct thing. But also at the same time, FRCS has got an important obligation in terms of providing the information, the correct information, the updated information, the necessary information that the taxpayers must have before in order for them to comply. See, I know all of us took mathematics at a young age. We know about triangles. Just imagine a triangle there in front of you. You are looking at it. So you got the bottom line there. Most of the people are, this is the compliance triangle that's how taxpayers they behave all throughout the world. This will be summarized in this triangle that I'm talking about now, and it's linked to self-assessment. So the ones down there, the triangle down there is got a wider area, and then it goes up to the point of the triangle upstairs. We want, and you have the arrow there, we want to push people down to do the right thing. Most of the people know what to do, they are doing the right thing. In the middle is what we are doing now. Those people who want to comply, but they don't know how to comply, what to do. They want to do the right thing. So this is the concept that's behind all of this. We give you the information, we give you the forms, we give you you go to the videos, go to our social media pages, we got the information there. We will share it with you. And even after go live, we will still be sharing with you those information. What is it? It's the concept of self-assessment. We want to assist you to do the right thing. This one word that says, do it right the first time. So we are trying our best to actually let the taxpayers know what the necessary information that they have to have. Concessions, evidence is attached, so that's already been mentioned before. That's one of the major changes there. Okay, the demo, I'll just call over Charlie to come and assist in changing the system to actually go to the online demo. Thank you. So while you are still waiting, please feel free to put your questions and some queries. See, right now, you might have a question on your mind, and you know, okay, maybe this is not important. But I'm telling you now, please send the question to the chat. We got our people there online, they will reply to you. And if we need clarification, then we will also inform you. Okay, just ensuring that the system is okay. But before we go on, please ensure that your Please ensure that your user ID and your password is correct and it belongs to you as the authorized user from the company or from the trust, from the estate. And please, for security purposes, do not share your password with anyone. This is absolutely critical because of the information, the taxpayer information that is inside. Okay, well, before we move on, I'll just explain to you. We'll be going into the filing obligation style. This how your dashboard going to look like. And also, before I move on, if you haven't signed up on behalf of your company, get the one-time login code form. It's available on our website under our services, taxpayer online services. Fill it, get the proper authorization from your company or from the trust of from the estate or partnership. Get it processed together with your photo ID. You can send it over to us through TPOS or info@frcs.org.fg. Moving on, the forms in progress. Say, for example, there's the second tile on the right. I'm going from the left to the right. Forms in progress. You can see if you're working on a form and then something there, you have to close the taxpayer online service. You can come back and continue with your form here. Form submitted. You want to check that your form has already reached the FRCS domain. Is there the payment obligations? Want to confirm if you already lost the form that if you have some payment obligations to do, it will be there. Correspondence. This is this is the tile that is important in terms of one of the important tiles in terms of the corporate income tax 2015-2021. The request tile, important tile if you want to do a tax compliance typical tax clearance. For example, even if you want to request for information, clarification, you can go in here. Change of circumstances. This is very important. For example, you have the change in directors in your companies. What we are advising you is that do the change first. When you go and file the obligations, everything is updated. So from now until we go live, if you have to change some directors details in terms of if it's already gone through the proper due process from the company's office or some changes that you need to do, just go there, the tile is there. And employee administration, this is just recently been introduced. For example, in a company, you got the user for the company. He or she can assign work to the staff. For example, companies registered for VAT, for PAYE, for STT, for FBT. One can do the FBT, one can do the FBT, one can do the VAT, and also one can do the objections and the taxpayer requests, for example. This is all can be done here. Engagement of tax agent, of course, those of you that have got tax agents, you have go live date going forward. You have to engage the tax agent from the system using this tile. This is also a very important tile in terms of those with tax agents. One will ask me whether you already engaged. Yes, you already engaged. This is in the system. So that is done outside of the system. This is to be done inside the system so that the tax agents, if they are lodging on your behalf, they can do it on your behalf through the system. Deregistration, if you want to deregister from a tax type or from income tax, for example, or from VAT, together with the necessary documents that's inside there. And also you can refer to our user manual on tax. So going back to our presentation proper, filing obligations, you go there, you click on it. It's important that you select the correct tax type. It will appear like PAYE, VAT, if you are registered for VAT, PAYE, FBT. So you have to corporate income tax. This is very important for this one. If you are a partnership, if you are a trust or estate, it will not say, like for example, for partnership, it will not write a partnership. No, it will still be in corporate income tax, but the lines inside will be relating to the companies. Don't worry about it. We will provide the forms, one for the different forms of partnership, trust estates, and also the companies. So due date. So a due date for all those that, for example, the May and the June, May, especially the May, those that have taxpayers that have due date 31st August, this will be extended to 30th of September. I hope I'm clear on that one. 30th of September. So it's going to be very important for this one. It will be the 30th of September. All taxpayers that have a due date August, August end, 31st August. Like you tell me, okay, what about if I have the due date March? That one is supposed to have already been lodged. You have to lodge it. And if you want to request for the remission, you can go to the remission. Okay, let's move on. So we can see, you go to the corporate income tax 2020. So important thing here is, let's just focus on this page. You got the instructions there. As already informed by Karishma during the break, there's 7 sections altogether. So it's not a long form. It replicates the current manual form that's there. But importantly, if you have been using our taxpayer online service, if you've been using our taxpayer online service, you'll see that our forms follow a normal this process. It starts with instructions. So if you've been doing VAT, which went live in December 2019, also POA, the instructions come first. So it's like that here. But actually, the instructions for the different returns may differ from one from the other. So it's important for you to read and understand. Once you read and understand and agree to it, then you declare. Then you go to the next section. Okay, in here, it is the same as the current form. Income tax return section, net profit loss is shown in profit and loss account. If you see there's a zero that's already been populated, it's important. Your situation can either be as nil return, okay? It can also be a debit, a payable, or a credit. So if it's a loss, you can also put a negative number. So just following through with this, let's just see there's a nil return. So nil return means there's no expenses, nothing. It's a nil return. Maybe the company is dormant. You just put the nil there. You will not do any add backs. You will go right down. Okay. Because he already told you, if the add backs there is optional and only the deductions or the concessions there, that's this section here. This section down here, that's compulsory uploaded. But in this case, it's a nil return. So, so see, for example, let me go back. Let's just do the negative scenario. I don't put anything here. Like, for example, you say, okay, it's a nil return. See what happens. Just try it. You say, okay, I don't put anything here. So it goes back to the default. So it's I don't put anything there. Just see what happens. Just show you what happens. What will happen here? See, it says the correct all highlighted errors. That's why I'm saying you must put a nil there. You must put the nil, right? So see, there's a red line there. If you're familiar with the VAT, POI, when there's a red line, that means you need to put in something. So I put the nil there. What happens now? I go on to the next. Say, for example, because it's a nil return, you just go over to the next section. And I will show you the next section in the, so the next example that I want to get to you. In the few moments, I'll show you the next section. So let's go back to the loss. If you have a loss there, you put the negative, it accepts it. So see some small, just to show you what happens in the system, that I show that is automatic, already alluded to earlier in the presentation. So you see the minus 20 appears here. Okay. And if you have loss, you must have the calculation there. You've been doing it over the years. So at least you have the calculation there. Okay? So let's see. And then after that, that's the one brought forward. It must be from your calculation. You must attach the necessary calculation, like what you've been doing currently. And then after that, open. Then in it goes. See? This is going to be pre-populated. Where the attachment appears here, you must, if you enter a figure, it must be. So we understand that mostly the film companies, they are mostly from ones that come from overseas using film text repeat. But if your company or if you're doing return on behalf of those companies, then you must fill in this one, and the necessary details will be given in correspondence from the FRCs. So that's what it goes on. So you can go on to the next one. So let's go back. Let's go back. I'm just showing you the nil there, the loss situation, and then we can go back. We'll just see a negative, positive, or payable situation. Let's put, after the pandemic, your company has been doing well. So let's see, you really got a good one. Your business strategy worked. So you really have 100,000 profit. So depreciation, this is a common one. So let's see, this business has got only a few assets because they mostly doing the online thing. They're going with the time, so they doing the online thing. So they can put 5,000 here. Let's be realistic, there's 10,000 worth of assets, mostly computers, and maybe they do not have a company vehicle, it's a company, small company. So if you have the evidence, I'm just using this one. So what is important is you must have your file. Our file name is 000. So you might have the file there, your file name for your evidence. You put it all together. You can put the first one for depreciation, and if there's any other one down there, your add backs. So you can have add backs and also deductions, concessions. You can have it the next so that you can easy for you to attach it. So fines and penalties, maybe there's a fine there. For example, maybe some fine that a company received, maybe say it's 3,000. So then you have to add back because that's not supposed to be claimed in the first place. So after that, if you see the amount, it's 10 and 3, so it's okay. So for here, it's optional. It's optional for you to attach the necessary document. Maybe you'll have your depreciation schedule here, and also here you have the evidence of the fine or the penalty here. So if you do not attach, it will still allow you to go. This is very important. Attachment for add backs is optional. That's already alluded to by Charisma. And okay, let's go to the compulsory one. Compulsory attachment. Okay, let's just see depreciation. I'm putting depreciation because this happens a lot. So you can put 10,000 there, whatever figure is there. I'm not saying here that all the figures to be rounded off to 10,000. No, it's the figure that's there. You just get whatever the figure is there. So, okay, let's see. Let me take off this one. Let's just try to test whether this one works or not. So you can also have this one, it's a relevant one. So let's see, like COVID-19, you have the workers still there working from home, maybe they're using the, so you're paying them. Maybe also doing commercial rent, paying the commercial rent. So they're 14,000. So the evidence is already there. So let me see if I take out the evidence here. Okay. See what happens. Okay. I've taken out the evidence. It's reflected there. So I don't have film text rebate. So let's try and go to the next one. See, I have to upload the evidence. It's telling you that it's compulsory. So let's go back and do it. Otherwise, we cannot complete this demo. So it's a mistake. So let me go and put the evidence there. Okay, let me go to the next one. Okay, let me try again. So the system is actually working. Okay, it's there. So this information. So if you see this, the next section here is the other information. Okay? So if you see for other information, opening stock, you have stock there in the shops. For example, for business. And you have purchase, you can write any figure. Even I'm used to the 10,000. So let's put any other number there. Then you put okay. So if you see this amount here comes down here. So the sales, I tell you the profit is 100,000. So the sales will be above that. So let's put 200,000. But what I tell you, the figures that go here are mostly the figures from your financial statements. So you can populate if you have interest income, like you can put the total assets from your balance sheet. But just see what happens. We encourage you to please fill in the required information. It's for your benefit because there'll be some processes that's coming after. That's called the post-assessment process. Even though it's self-assessment, there are some processes to ensure that correct revenue is collected, and FRCS has got checks and balances. So in the process, it's important for you to fill in the correct figures as per your financial statements. So ICT, I do not have that incentive. If you have it, please do put it down there. It's very important. And after that, just see, this is also an important line, salaries, because this actually aligns with your PAY, or salaries and wages paid. So this is an important line also. Well, if you want to put it, so for this one, I got only 2 employees, so I'm just paying 30,000. So very small company. Okay, so now we come to the general schedules. Okay. The general schedules, as I already mentioned earlier, there's attachments in all of them except for 2. One of them is this one. See, there's no attachment button here. So let me put a director. Let me put an example here. If you are paying director's fees, management fees, you have to the director's fees, you have to fill in this form, this part. Okay, we have funding and director's management fees. It's for 1 year. Let's be realistic with it. Maybe 500 for 1 month, 500 small company, maybe $200. So maybe 2,200. So tax deducted. So let's put it for this example. Let's put 2,000. So you got the tax deducted. That's $200. So please, it's important that the tick the box to confirm that you are confirming. And if you want to change it, tick it again so that you go and change. Don't go and change it. Go tick to confirm and tick. Oh, maybe the figure was wrong. I was supposed to put $3,000. Then you put it there. Otherwise, tick and it goes on to the next one. Overseas income, as you know, overseas income. The reason the tin is not here because basically some of them will not have a fidgeting because they are overseas income. So you can put in the name of the company. Okay? Right now the Commonwealth Games is going. Let's just put some spice into this one. So let's put the caps lock. The name of the company is 57 Limited. Gross income, the overseas income. Maybe they know their gross income there is 50. No, tax deducted. Well, let's just put a figure that is easier for me. 50,000. So you get 1,000. So the figure here will not be more than the allowable 20% rate. It will not be more than that. So you can tick this. See, the tick is there. This is one of the compulsory attachment. If I don't attach when I go over, I will not be able to. So I have to give the evidence there. Okay, overseas income that's there. So then I have to tick to confirm. See, let's always do the tick. If you want to go back, then you do whatever I already informed me. Just click on the pen again, and then you change it, and then you click on the pen again. So it's the same for the contractual. Say for the contractual, it's we have there's a partnership that is working with us. So they're contractor. So they're doing some IT services. 83640. So you go there, the name is there, and then you got the gross payment there, 5,000. So 5%, 250. So that's 5%. See the figures, you have to ensure that your figures, there's no validation there, so you have to put in the correct figures. The system will actually, so there's the tick, then you go to the next one. I will not, so director's fees, so if you got share of of a trust or estate, you can put it there. This is if this one for simple companies, they will not, but I'm showing it to you just for the benefit of our session today, so that we give you the necessary information that you need to know. So it's so that's it, the income that's received. And after that, interest received by the bank. Normally dividend I will not put, normally they are all exempt. So if you go there, maybe you don't have any interest received from the bank, so we'll go on to the next one. Upload documents. So I already opened. See, this is one important example. If you already open it, you didn't put a figure, press on the rubbish bin icon. See what happens now. It goes through. Okay. We are on the second last section, financial statements. So before you go, say if you are going for the first time, there's a question mark there. Oh, what kind of formats? So the format is there: PDF, JPEG, JPG, and PNG. Maximum of 25 MB. So for me, that's quite enough for me. 25 MB, big space there, so I can attach my financial statements. Upload successful. So we go on to the summary. Summary here. So if you see, I've already tested the liability, the provisional tax. You remember, the foreign tax credit is there. Withholding tax, because I do not have any interest. If you have it, it would have been populated. You know, I already mentioned in the presentation, when you input there, manual input, then it comes over here. It gets populated here. Okay, penalty is there. Why? Because it's 2020. You just lodging it now, so it's 20% of the tax paper. So after that, check if there are credits, it will appear there. And after that, important thing for this page, if you ask me what is the important thing for this page, the important thing for this page is here. You have to check that the figures are correct, and if it's not correct, you have to go back and correct it. If it's okay, you are okay with it, then after that, then you go to declaration. Okay, then you can declare the individual. This declaration is not on the company tin or the trust tin or the estate tin. Is the individual who has been authorized by the company, by the trust, estate, and yeah. So 29 72327. When you put it there, your name and the date, lodgement date, and the designation. Say, I'm just a manager. Let's put I'm the manager for the small company. So general attachment, important thing here is if you know, or if you have evidence there, something there that you see will help you looking forward in terms of completing the form, then you have to upload it. If it's not yet been uploaded in the AdBack or also in the concession deductions, then you can upload it. And you declare, please, these two sentences, it's absolutely critical for you to ensure the best of your ability and the records that you have, that it is the correct assessment of your income tax liability for the period. And this one I will not mention, you can see it clearly. It's there, even from before, it's still there now, it will be there into the future. So because this self-assessment, you will contrast and whatever you put in, that will go into the system and get your filing notification. So I click on the tick box, then you submit the application. Okay, see, important information here is the form reference number. Okay, form reference number, very, very important one, this one. And in here, you can download, and in here, you can lodge another return. Say, for example, your company and you, okay, I want to lodge also PY, but you can go there and just lodge it if you are doing it from your company. Then you can download, let's download. Okay, it's coming up, confirmation. Okay, let's wait a little bit of time. Working. Let me try and open it. Okay, it's coming. Okay. Just give it a few more seconds. See, what it shows is that in where you are operating from, it's important that the internet speed is strong, so that you can go through the system and will not have any hiccups. So you have the tax account, you have the TIN there, okay, and then you have the QMatic, you have the name, the TIN, the filing confirmation number, very, very important one, this one. If you want to follow up, this number is important. Then there, tax account number, then you have the lodgement, then after that, you've got the different, the due date, the lodgement, assessment, date, lodgement penalty, and you have the net payable. So on that, I will just, if you have questions, just keep on sending in your questions. I will just go briefly to the partnership and then to the trust. Because the trust and estates, they are like the same. So I'll just go to the trust one to show you how the system, especially the first page, because the last two pages or the rest of the information is basically like the same. And I will inform you the difference on the general schedules part or section. Thank you. Just give me a few seconds, please. Let's go back to the partnership. Thank you for your time. I'm not going fast. I'm going slowly so that you can really grasp and understand the process. So we go to the partnership one. Let's go to the partnership. The name of my partnership firm is ABC Data. Please, I want to while I'm on the user ID, you will given the user ID when you first sign up, and that's the user ID that will be used all throughout. If there's a change in the person doing the return, the user ID will still be used. It's important for companies to pass down the information and they know about the user ID. And if you are stuck somewhere and you don't know about the user ID, you can always email info@frcs.org.fg and or tpos@frcs.org.fg to get a user ID. You have the grace, my password. Please ensure that password is correct and only you have that access. See, something is, let me just check. Let me just bear with me. I'll just get Charlie to fix this thing before we start again. Thank you. Thank you for your patience and understanding. Okay, we'll start again. So ABC data, I already informed that. 777. Then you got my password. This one goes through. Yes, it should be on the okay. We are on the right environment now. So I will just go straight to the filing obligations. So you see, there's the, if you select corporate income tax there. So this we'll look at the 2021 tax year. So yeah, like what I've already told you before. Sorry, I'll just go up for the benefit. So the instructions is there. I will not dwell on that one. It's just the first page. So let me tick on this one, just like what I've already informed. So this is the important, this is the difference. In terms of the company, you got the income tax return party. In here is just if you have interest, you'll see the general schedules. If you go back to the company income tax, the general schedule, general schedule part section, it includes all this. So it is not only here for the first time. No, it's already there in the company. The rental income loss, if you have been doing the return, current manual return, this is exactly the same as the current. So you put the period from, the period to, and less the expense, and you have the net income, and it will be repopulated in the return. I'm just showing you this because this is where the difference lies. So if you have there income of 40,000, the net profit from other business. So if you have farming, you can put your farming profit there. Maybe you're doing some farming, so maybe a small one. So and then you can go there. For the benefit of this, I will just show you this part. This is what I want to show you, that it's different on the income tax return part, but the schedules here are the same as the general schedules. Some of the general schedules that are there in the company online form. For partnership, the contractual income is so if you go to the general schedules, let me go to the general schedules so that at least I can show you. The deductions, the add-backs and the deductions, that one I already informed. So it will appear there. So this information too is already there. So the other information is the same from the company online form. So for this one, let me, if you see here, I already had some things filled up here for me to show you. So you've got a contractor. So it's the same thing as the three. There's only three here. It's only the contractual payments, the kin payment received, and the share of partnership. So if you go there, then this is the difference from this one to the is different from the company one. It's only three here. Company there's about, I think there's about six, I think. Yeah, around six schedules, more than three schedules. So this is what I want to show you, but it's not only peculiar to this one. So that's on the partnership one. And for the partnership one, that's it. And let's go to the trust one. If you have any question, please use the chat platform. I'm just going to the partnership one. Okay, let me go to the trust one. Sorry, trust one. So we have my trust name is my user ID is Tikwedina. So I've got the user ID. This is for trust estate. They look identical to each other. So the trust one. So let me go to the filing obligation. It's a trust. As I told you, the filing obligation will still state corporate income tax. Yeah? It will still state corporate income tax, not trust. But you have to. This is the format of the online form, which we will provide. The user manual will provide the form. So the important thing here, let's go up to the section. Okay, if you go there, I tick it. I will not dwell on this one for long. So it's this part that I'm talking about, it, the income tax return part. If you see here, okay, you see the schedule here. The schedule here is the schedule from the, also the same as the company income tax return. Just put the share of the TIN and the name of the trust and the income that is received. Partnership, if that interest income, dividends income, and rental income and loss. I already showed the rental earlier. It's just for me to show that the rest of the return is the same for add back and for allowable deductions. I already showed you. This is optional and this is attachment is required. You go to the, I'll just go to the next section for the benefit of this. See, what happens? Distribution can either be 0% or, so there was no distribution there. Okay. 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 You understand that part? Why? Because I did not fill in this part. So it's important that whatever you fill up here, it will get pre-populated down here. Okay. It's the same for partnership, the same general schedules that's there. So the net profit here, okay. What happened? Because I will change it to 0. So in there, why I've changed it to 0? Because the net profit up here is 0. I've changed it to 0. Before it was 50,000, so it's 0. So you must put in the input here and the losses. Okay. Say for example, I don't have any loss. Okay. There's a profit there. So what you will do, you will actually there'll be no loss there. So I can continue on to the next step. So here is the same as the company income tax. And I'll go on to, I will not go through it again. I already explained it. And here is the same with partnership, contractual details of gain payment, and the share of trust estate partnership income distributed. So the important thing here, see if I go forward with this one, it will not. So I have to, because there's nothing there. So I should not put anything there. It will not allow me to, because it's a nil. So if there's some distribution there, for example, I go back here, okay? Say for example, you had 50,000, then you can put the 50,000, and then when you go and distribute, then you have to distribute it accordingly, according to the trustees. So say for example, if you have the trust has got $100,000 profit, you distribute 50,000. 50,000 will remain in the trust account, and the remainder will be taxed at the trust account. So that is very important. The uploading of documents and the summary and declaration, they are like similar to the ones that I've showed for company income tax. So on in that regard, like if you have any questions, I will just wait for. Okay, there's some questions here. Okay, thank you, Amrita, for answering the questions. I don't know whether, okay, there are any more questions, so that there's still attendance here. So thank you for all those that have, including our internal staff that have joined in. So just some important information, as already alluded to earlier, the forms will be available shortly, and also the user manual tutorial videos. We will also be releasing some information either by early this month, some important information for you. So importantly, if you have not connected to our Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, our social media pages, please do so. We have our latest information that's there, FRCS wide, including customs information. If you go there now, we'll see a lot of updates, especially on TPOS and also on other concessions that are there, that are offered by the FRCS to the businesses. And also, if you facing challenges in terms of corporate income tax, please, you can call 1326, which is our hotline, and also email info@frcs.org.fg and or tipos@frcs.org.fg. Why I'm saying this is a self-assessment. We have to give you the necessary information for you to comply. So on this regard, if you have any more questions, I'll just give 1 or 2 minutes for us to wrap up. And thank you for bearing with me for this. I think we have reached, it's about 4 o'clock now. So thank you so much for bearing with us. And also, please stay tuned. Personal income tax is coming next week, starting on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So please do not miss that one. That's also a very important online form for the personal income tax 2015 for tax years 2015 to 2021.